Michelle. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited to share your story of how you went from one career to another and just really learning about that journey, because I know so many people are really interested in a complete career pivot, but they're really scared to make that change and maybe even wondering, like, how do I make that happen? So thank you so much for joining. And for those that don't know, Michelle is a recent grad from the Accelerator program, which is a program to help job seekers land their dream jobs, which we're going to dive into more. So Michelle, if you could just kind of share with us a little bit about you, where you live, what it is that you were doing before, and where you are pivoting your career direction into now.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to do this. I've been so inspired through this process, so really excited to share my experience. My name's Michelle. I live in the Bay Area. I've been a technical program manager for the past 15 plus years. Now, starting next Monday, I'm about to embark on a new career where I'm going to be a director of admissions and marketing. So dabbling into education management space.
That's amazing. And I know you come from the tech world. And one of the things that we started talking about when we first came across each other is your passion for education and really wanting to kind of make that pivot. So I can't wait to dive into all of that. But before we go into all of that, could you just kind of share whatever you feel comfortable sharing around what got us connected in the first place? Like, where were you in your career? What was happening
Yeah.
to stumble across career coaching?
I was at the lowest point of my career. I was at a job for 2 years that I was not passionate about, and I decided to leave the company. It wasn't the right culture fit for me, and I didn't believe in the company missions, and I didn't know where to go from there. So I left my job last June, and I really wanted to do this the right way. I figured now I have some time off and to rethink about what my next step would be, because this is essentially your whole life. You spend majority of your time at work. I want to find the right fit. I've needed help with my resume. That was the first step. And then when I started looking for the right person to help me build my portfolio or polish it, your feed came in. I was like, oh, who is this person? I started watching your video one after another. And, to me, it kind of was like a gut instinct that this seems, I liked your style. I like your repeatable process. That kind of brought me to our first meeting.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I love how you said you wanted to start off with your resume, because I think a lot of job seekers believe that's where you start. But as you were thinking about this complete pivot into a new industry, into a new type of role, I'm curious, from your experience, now that you've been at the final stage, what you felt was the most transformative or helpful for you to get to where you are today?
The continuous support and encouragement, because job search is not easy. 1 hour, I'll be on a high. The next hour, I'll be in the low and really depressed and sad. Your constant encouragement, asking the right question, digging deep into finding out the source of that disappointment, that was my favorite part. And another favorite was the group sessions that we have. I felt like we were a family going through the same things. Hearing other people's experience was really valuable because we get to learn from each other. And this is not a conversation that we have with our colleagues or with our families, right? So It's a dedicated session. I always make a point to show up to those meetings, because those are the meetings that lift me up and get me through the next few days. Those were the two things that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I love that. And I was actually listening in on the last session that you had participated in before this new job came about. And I know one of the things that you were talking about was kind of the fear of making that move. Deep down inside, you knew it was time for a career pivot, a career transition. I know every time you talk about education, you just light up. And it was so cool to hear other people and the other job seekers basically say Michelle, this is what you want to do. It is so clear and evident. But I also like how one of the students in the program, Sam, was even if you make a move, worst case scenario, you always have a fallback, which is your previous career. And
Mhm.
I just thought like that was such wise counsel and guidance. And yeah, I just love how all of you guys kind of show up together and help each
Mhm.
other out, because the job search journey can be really isolating.
Yeah.
So all that being said, I'm also really curious about how you made your ultimate pivot. Like, tell us a little bit more about that process. I want to hear
Mhm.
about your job search journey and like the ebbs, the flows, just whatever you really went through, because again,
Yeah.
it wasn't like an overnight journey for you.
No,
Share a little bit more about the
the
transition.
different stages.
Yeah,
Yeah. I left my job in
doesn't
June
matter.
of
Yeah.
last year. I knew I had to do something related to education. I figured, hey, I'm just going to take my time to build my resume and the technology in my other role. So while I'm at it, I might as well just volunteer at my daughter's Saturday Chinese school. So it was not paid, 3 hours per week. I showed up every single class, every single session, not missing a beat. And I did it for 8 months. While I was doing that, I was attending, your sessions and, getting my cover letter, reach out to try to network with technology sector and program management area. And I was just not feeling it. No matter what we talk about, there wasn't a spark in me unless we were talking about ed tech, and that got me excited. And so I figured, okay, well, I'll give this a try for 6 months. In January, I'm gonna speed up, do more networking and see where that takes me. And then COVID hits, and during that time frame, it was coincidentally that a family from my daughter's school said that they're looking for a Mandarin teacher. I said, "Oh, I know both languages." Just putting myself out there with that one sentence, I started my business,
Mhm.
which is becoming a private Mandarin tutor. Over within 2 months, I was able to get 12 students just by word of mouth, just by putting myself out there, talking to people. So that really helped me get to the second level of this career path, which is, getting more experience through teaching. Of course, during COVID, April, May, June, I continued to do job search in the project management area. But I was thinking, hey, why am I need a job. Why don't I, put myself out there and then look for a job in other schools? I started going through your modules again, drafting a separate resume, a separate cover letter for this other career, being a tutor, being a Mandarin teacher, applied for a few positions, and I got schools that were interested and wanted to learn more about my background. That kind of helped me got to where I am. Through the interview, I was interviewing for a teacher assistant position. After a few days, the school came back and said, "We saw that you have extensive project management experience. Would you consider this other role that we think may fit better for you?" I am not familiar with education management, and it's a new industry for me. Did not imagine there was a role like I'm about to take on, which is director of missions and marketing. It was the best of both worlds because I'm passionate about education. I'm passionate about Mandarin teaching and learning, and I get to apply my project management skills. So that's where I landed.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy to hear all of that, because I know, like, as we were going through the process, you were telling me, like, it was almost like a hurdle to
Yes.
muster up the energy to like work on project management, program management roles. And really, like anybody watching Michelle right now, she has an amazing background with project and program management. Like that has been your core, that has been kind of your area of expertise all these years.
Mhm.
I knew, like looking at your background and just what you were aiming for, if that's something that you wanted to do, you could absolutely get there. And I know that you can get there even after, if you decide like I want to actually return back to the corporate world and do this. But I love that, like every time I was talking to you, you're like, yeah, I'm just tutoring, like I'm so excited about this, I'm volunteering at my daughter's school. And what I'm hearing you say is like you really just followed your intuition and just really went with what sparked your interest,
Mhm.
and kept like an open mind without necessarily like, I need to talk to XYZ people, I need to like
Mhm.
send out a dozen resumes and applications. But then what was amazing is after you built all of this experience, like on your resume, you retooled yourself and your materials, and you started to position yourself. Not only did you get one offer, you got two offers
Mm-hmm.
for various education schools, and I'm sure like you got them because they saw your passion, your excitement, and also a little bit of your networking and strategy. But you hit on something so cool and key, which is like, I just opened myself up to the opportunities. Like here you were going for teacher assistant role, and now you have like more of a marketing project management role within
Mm-hmm.
the education industry. And it's not something that you didn't apply to that job, right? It
No, I didn't.
during the conversations, and it's like a job title you wouldn't have considered or even researched or looked up, but it fell into your lap because you were just being so open and curious and
Mm-hmm.
in action to follow what you loved and wanted to pursue.
Yeah, because I really, throughout this experience, I know you saw it from the beginning and you were encouraging me along the way, but for some reason I needed this time to process it myself. It felt with my gut instinct, it just felt so natural. And the other path I was trying to maintain, which is a technical project manager, it just felt like I was dragging my feet. The time that I put in education, I mean, before I would be like after dinner, I'll be spending time watching Netflix, just kind of numb myself. When I started embarking on this education path, I every night and right after dinner, boom, I'm on the computer researching how I can be a better teacher, what kind of material that I can pull together for my students and things like that. So the famous women or successful men out there, one key advice that they have was to follow your gut instinct. I'm a living proof of it. It's not easy. There are tons of ups and downs, but I think because of the continuous support I've been getting through this program, through you, and through the group, it that really helped encourage me to move forward.
Yeah, I love it because it's so easy to listen to logic and, the analytical side, but when you tap into like your gut instinct, your heart, your intuition, just like the fact that you are so productive after dinner because you're focused on, really wanting to build this skill set and become one of the best in this new industry, you light up when you talk about it. And you're so right. Like you spend so many hours in your work, you want to enjoy it, you want to love it, you want to feel like you're recharged and re-energized versus drained and not looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm super excited for you. So I wanted to just ask, because again, for a lot of career transitioners out there, they might be thinking about how do I let go of all of this experience I've gained or the education I've gained, step away from this comfortable salary and into a new role in industry. What kind of advice would you give to them, or what helped you overcome that fear?
Sign up for your program. Like seriously, and because yeah, resume, cover letter, networking, these are the tools that we have, but the mental part of it is not something that you get outside in the real world. So I feel like this program really helped me propel through those mental blocks. But my other advice is follow your gut instinct. I think there was one thing I was also worried about was the age factor because I'm a seasoned project program manager and having to start over was not something that was in my dictionary. I thought that I need to continue to build on top of it, or else all the 15 years that I've been in this career, in the project program management career, that would have gone to waste. I think, following my gut instincts and just taking that one step at a time. Don't think about where the end goal is. Just follow your passion and just little bits by bit. My bit was 3 hours each week working for free in a short 1 year. It helped me get on the path that I wanted to be on. That it was, to my surprise, that I didn't anticipate. So that's kind of what my advice would be.
I
Mhm.
think your evidence that you know now, like how to write your resume and rewrite your LinkedIn or network with people. And,
Mhm.
no matter where you go from here, like you're always going to find that like safety cushion. in place,
Yeah.
because deep down I'm sensing like you really trust yourself through this process. That's awesome. I guess just to wrap it up, any final like words if somebody's like, I don't know if career coaching is right for me, I don't know if the accelerator program is right for me, like what would you say to them if they're on the fence?
I would say it is right for you. Yeah, I feel like take a look at the YouTube videos
Mm,
and explore what you're looking for, whether that's resume, cover letter, negotiation. And if you feel like you need more feedback or need more interaction and dialogue with the coaches, set up that one meeting, just that first meeting, just to give yourself a chance and be open-minded of this door that's knocking on, it's right there. I'd say don't pass on any opportunity that's in front of you. It may seem like just an ad. It may seem like it's a push notification to 100%. Just go with it. Just
mm.
be open-minded.
I love your wisdom. It's like be open-minded, take the first step, just get curious
Yeah.
where that leads. Awesome. Oh, really quick, because we did talk about negotiations as well. Tell us a little bit more about like what your tangible results were from the program. Just anything that you feel you walked away with at the end.
Well, every single step of the way, every deliverable, I took away more than what you gave me,
Mm,
the tools that you shared with me, and it's repeatable. So one example is negotiation. I've gone through so many interviews and we're so close in getting that offer and that I review, prepare myself for the negotiation. And I really used it this time for my new job. I was able to follow your written script and practiced it with my daughter, with my husband. And then I was able to come out and gotten a higher salary after 3 months of performance. I consider that a success because I would not have the courage to ask for what I want
mm,
without your guidance,
mm.
without the module, without the encouragement from everybody. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm just so excited to hear about your new job, your new transition. You'll definitely have to send me a picture of your new office whenever you go back into the workplace after all of this. Any final thoughts or words that you want to part with?
No, Emily, I think I look up to you
Mm,
because you've built your business from ground zero and you work so hard and you push all the way through. So you're kind of my mentor and my role model.
oh.
And so I hope that I can be just as success and wise as you are. I really enjoy our time, love your team, and I love the people that signed up for this program because I feel like we're a big family and I never want to leave this family. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And we're all connected. So we'll definitely stay in touch. And we all want to hear, like, I think it's so important to see the success. I was actually talking to somebody the other day where they were saying, like, you shouldn't boast about where you are or how good life is right now, especially with the pandemic. But I was like thinking in my head, like, it's our obligation to like share that there is positivity happening, there are wins and successes happening because it really raises the vibration of like what is possible, but also
Mhm.
it just really is encouraging and inspiring and motivating. Again, this is why I wanted to interview you because so many people are thinking of that pivot, but they're holding themselves back. And I know you had that same thought
Mhm.
and that same feeling, and now you get to share the other side and just inspire people to continue forth. So thank you
Yeah.
so much, Michelle.
Oh, you're welcome. If it's possible for me, it's possible for everybody. Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah,
So don't give up.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.